My name's David. I'm 44, and for years I believed I had a good life. Not perfect, but solid, the kind you build slowly, day by day. 18 years married to Emma, 2 kids, Sophia and Austin, who mean everything to me. I've poured myself into them, coaching Austin's soccer games, sitting on the floor braiding Sophia's hair before school, never missing a birthday, never skipping a holiday. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. For the past 7 years, I've worked remotely in IT, a job that let me be there, really be there, for my family. I picked the kids up, helped with homework, made sure they knew I was present. Emma, she thrived in real estate, always polished, always talking, always in motion. I used to love that about her relentless energy. Now I wonder if I ever truly understood her at all. Father's Day was just around the corner. You'd think after all this time the excitement would fade, but it never did for me. I still looked forward to it, still held on to that quiet hope, that warmth. Funny how things change. The gifts never mattered. It was never about that. It was about feeling seen, even for just one day. A handwritten card, breakfast in bed, lazy morning cartoons with the kids, something small but real. But that year, Emma kept dropping hints, her smile a little too knowing. "Don't make any plans," she'd say, eyes bright. "We've got something special for you." Sophia would giggle when I tried to pry, her voice teasing. "You'll see. You'll love it." Then came the morning. I woke to an empty bed. No sizzle of pancakes, no little feet pattering down the hall. Just the hum of the ceiling fan and a silence so heavy it pressed against my ribs. Maybe they were setting up a surprise, I told myself. I brushed my teeth, pulled on a hoodie, and waited. I'll wear a firm. Still nothing. No clatter from the kitchen. I peeked into Sophia's room, empty. Austin's too. Gone. I walked into the garage and Emma's car wasn't there. By noon, confusion settled in. Maybe there was a mix-up. Maybe they'd run an errand, or there was a reservation I'd forgotten. I grabbed my phone, desperate for a text, an explanation, anything. Silence. Then I opened Instagram, and just like that, everything shattered. Sophia had posted a story, a boomerang of clinking glasses, a slow pan across the table. There they were, Emma, Sophia, Austin, Mira. All of them laughing, smiling. The caption cut deep. "Best dad ever when he's not around, LOL." I couldn't move. My fingers clenched around the phone as my chest caved in, heat rising like a slow burn. Was this a joke? Some cruel prank? My mind scrambled to make sense of it, but my heart already knew. It hurt too much not to. Did they forget me? I didn't reach out, no text, no call. Just sat there, clutching my phone, still wearing that hoodie Sophia gave me last Christmas. The hours dragged. Silence. The rest of the day melted into nothing. Reheated pasta, the dog curled beside me on the porch, the sky fading to black as I wondered if they'd even come back that night. They didn't. Monday blurred by, meetings, work, autopilot. No one said a word about Father's Day. Not my coworkers, not my family. Was I imagining it? Was I the one who'd lost it? Then at 9:20 a.m., my phone erupted. 66 missed calls, a flood of texts, and Sophia's message, raw and pleading. "Please come home." We didn't know. The words on the screen burned into me, and then came the cold, sickening realization. They'd gone a whole day without noticing I was missing. They left at 7:45 a.m. on Sunday. They laughed over brunch. They came home later. No rush, no worry. And only then, more than 24 hours after they'd last seen me, did it cross their minds that I wasn't there. Not a single text Sunday night. No knock on the hotel door. No call to a neighbor. No glance at the cameras. Nothing. That's when I understood. This wasn't just being forgotten. This was worse. Because they came back and I wasn't there. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you go back? Why didn't you call, scream, show up at that brunch and make them see you? Believe me, I've asked myself the same thing. Over and over. The moment it happened, I didn't react. Not the way I thought I would. My body locked up. My mind stalled. I just stood there waiting, praying there was some explanation, some hidden reason why this wasn't what it seemed. But the sick twist in my stomach whispered the truth. "David, you're not the main character here. Not even in your own home." I still didn't move. I had to make sense of it. How did a day that was supposed to be mine turn into a celebration of my absence? How did Sophia, the same little girl who used to scribble stick figure cards and call me her superhero, now post stories like I was nothing but a punchline? Then Emma's voicemail hit, her voice shaking. David, please call me. The kids are upset. I don't know what you're doing, but this isn't funny. Just come home. We can talk. Please, Arm. I played it back twice. Her voice trembled, but there was no remorse, no shock. Just irritation, like I was the one causing problems. That's when something inside me snapped. I had to know. I opened our shared Google account. She never signed out, not because she trusted me, but because she barely understood how to log in. Everything was there. Calendar entries, emails, location history. I scrolled through her recent searches. Father's Day brunch ideas, funny dad captions. Then my stomach dropped. How to handle manipulative husbands. The words hit me like a fist. I forced myself to keep going. In her emails, a thread with her sister. Subject Sunday plans. My fingers hovered before clicking. Mira's message. Just make sure David doesn't find out. Emma's reply. He won't. I told him it's a surprise. The air left my lungs. Peaceful brunch. Enjoy the quiet. The words hit me like a slap. That's when something inside me shattered. All these years I thought I was at least respected. Not celebrated, I never expected parades, but appreciated in some small way. But this, being left behind, lied to, then mocked online, that wasn't just thoughtless. That was deliberate, calculated cruelty. I didn't reply to the texts. I didn't call back. Instead, I sat there, replaying every little thing I'd ignored over the past year. Austin calling Mira's husband Uncle Paul with more warmth than he ever showed me. Sophia's eye rolls when I asked to spend time together. Emma's exhausted sighs whenever I mentioned work like I was nothing but a burden. And those late-night showings that stretched for hours. How had I been so blind? The quiet wasn't peaceful. It was deafening. It hit me all at once. Not as scattered moments, but as a truth I'd been too blind to see. The home cameras, the ones we'd put in 3 years ago after that break-in scare, held the proof. Emma had access, but she never bothered with them. I scrolled back to Sunday morning, 7:46 a.m., and there they were. Sophia in her pink sundress, Austin in his tiny button-up and khakis, Emma in heels laughing. She glanced toward the front door, where I was still asleep, and said something I couldn't hear. Then all three of them laughed. Just like that. They didn't just leave me behind. They laughed. Why? Was it a joke? A break from me? Some perfect little family moment they wanted without me in it? That night, I stuffed a bag. Laptop, chargers, clothes for a week. No, let them wonder. The truth was, they'd figure it out eventually. I booked a room in some no-name hotel across town. Nothing special, just Wi-Fi that worked and sheets that didn't smell like regret. I needed air. I needed distance. But most of all, I needed to think. Because something inside me had cracked open and I couldn't stuff it back in. No more pretending. No more swallowing my pride. And no way in hell was I walking back through that door, not until I knew exactly what I was carrying with me. That first night, sleep didn't come. The bed wasn't the problem. It beat Austin's lumpy pull-out couch by a mile. But my mind? It wouldn't stop screaming. The ceiling stared back at me, blank and indifferent, while my mind flickered through memories like a damaged film reel. Christmas mornings sticky with wrapping paper, the crunch of cleats on wet grass at Sophia's soccer games, Emma and me whispering on the porch after midnight, coffee cups warming our hands, the future stretching out ahead of us. But now those moments felt smudged, ruined, like a child had dragged a crayon across them. That brunch, God, that brunch. The clink of glasses, the too loud laughter, the caption burned into my brain. Best dad ever when he's not around, LOL. That LOL, 3 letters that turned me into a punchline. I wasn't just some joke, some absent figure to chuckle about. I was the one who paid the bills, who spent weekends under the sink with a wrench, who stayed up late explaining equations, who said no to promotions just so I could be there for them. And still, it wasn't enough. None of it had meant a damn thing. That's what hit me hardest. Monday night, I finally caved and texted Sophia. Just 2 words, I saw. She read it right away. The typing bubble flickered. There, then gone, then back again, before disappearing for good. My chest tightened as I waited, but nothing came. Just silence. I was sitting there, half a cold takeout burger in my hand, when my phone buzzed. Not Sophia. Austin. Dad, are you mad? Mad? No. Mad is too small a word for this. Mad is road rage, spilled coffee, petty annoyances. This was something else, something deeper, heavier. Like the ground had been ripped out from under me. But he's 12. He didn't need to carry that weight. So I lied. I'm okay. We'll talk soon. A thumbs up emoji. That's all I got back. It shouldn't have stung, but it did. By Tuesday, Emma had figured out the hotel. I don't know how. Maybe she checked my credit card. Maybe she just knew me too well. It didn't matter. The damage was already done. The phone rang, front desk transferring her call. Again, I let it go to voicemail. Her voice came through, clipped and measured this time. But I could hear the strain underneath. David, this is ridiculous. The kids are worried. You're blowing this out of proportion. Can we just talk like adults? Come home. We'll clear the air. Like adults. Like adults who abandon you on a holiday and flaunt it for the world to see? I didn't answer. I threw myself into work instead of sitting there stewing. It was time to move. I dug into our finances, every account, every statement. Emma had always handled the money, said she was better with numbers. I trusted her. Now I needed to see it all for myself. And I did. My stomach twisted as I scrolled through the statements. PayPal payments to names I didn't know, a full rental deposit in another city, weekly lunch charges from a restaurant nowhere near her usual spots. Then I opened our shared Google Drive, the one we used years ago for family photos, travel plans, budgeting. She must have forgotten I still had access. Buried in a subfolder, a single document. Plan B. My pulse hammered as I clicked it open. A list, cold, methodical. New apartment walkthrough? Check. Lawyer consult scheduled? Check. Joint account split estimate. What to do if David resists? Mira can talk to him. Keep kids neutral. Don't overshare. I just sat there staring. If David resists, like I was something to be managed, like I was in the way. I wasn't just forgotten. I was deliberately cut out. Like I was something to be handled, not loved. Not her husband, not their father. This wasn't just brunch. It was a trial run, a test to see how their lives would feel without me in the picture. And if I hadn't scrolled through Instagram that day, they might have let it all unfold quietly, neatly, on their terms. But I did. And now I had to move. That Tuesday, I got my shit together, made the calls, set up appointments, reached out to a friend in family law, rented a private mailbox, opened a new bank account. I wasn't ready to burn everything down, not yet. But if Emma wanted to play with fire, she wouldn't be the only one holding the match. My chest tightened as I read the school's email Monday morning. Sophia had skipped 2 classes. Austin had been pulled out early. Emma's doing, no doubt, spinning it as daddy's little episode, like I was some unstable ghost haunting their lives. But I knew my kids. Sophia? Yeah, she might be slipping, testing boundaries. But Austin? That boy was steady, solid. If he left school early, it wasn't rebellion, it was pain. He was lost. And that shattered me. I had to see them. Not Emma, not yet. Just them. My fingers hovered before typing the text to Sophia. Meet me at the diner near the park. February 5 p.m. Just you and Austin. No pressure. 10 minutes later, her reply. Okay. One word, but it was enough. By 4:55, I was already in the booth. A chocolate milkshake sweating on the table for Austin. Fries, extra crispy, the way Sophia loved them. Waiting untouched. Then the door swung open. There they were, holding hands like they were bracing for something. Both smaller than I remembered. Both looking at me like I might disappear again. Sophia's hoodie was pulled tight over her head, like she was trying to hide inside it. Austin couldn't stop tugging at his sleeve, restless, uneasy. When Sophia slid into the booth across from me, her eyes were swollen, red-rimmed, exhausted. She opened her mouth. Dad, but I cut her off, my voice steady but heavy. Let me go first. They fell silent. And then I told them everything. The brunch I wasn't invited to. The messages I wasn't supposed to see. The emails that laid it all bare. No yelling. No guilt. Just the truth laid between us like something fragile. Sophia shrank into the seat, her shoulders curling inward like she wanted to vanish. We didn't know the whole plan, she whispered, her voice small. Mom said you were tired, that you'd be annoyed if we made a big deal out of it. That it was just one brunch. Austin's jaw tightened. She said it was a girl's thing, he muttered. But then I was there too. I nodded, my chest aching. I know it's not your fault. I need you to hear this, straight from me. I'm not going anywhere. I love you both so much. No matter what happens between me and your mom, you'll always be my kids. Sophia's tears came first, then Austin's. And right then, it hit me. Emma might have mapped out her flawless exit, but she left gaps in the story. She tried pulling them into her version of things, but they weren't fully gone yet. There was still time. I held them tight before they walked away, promising I'd reach out soon, swearing things would be okay, even if okay didn't look like it used to. Later, back in the hotel room, I poured a drink, slumped at the desk with my laptop glowing in front of me, and just stared at that folder. I'd called it reset because that's what this was. Not revenge, not even justice. A reset. I took a deep breath. This was it. The moment I'd been dreading but couldn't avoid any longer. My fingers trembled as I pulled up Emma's contact, hit record, and dialed. Her voice, smooth as always, sliced through the quiet. David? Finally. Are you ready to stop being dramatic? I clenched my jaw, forcing a bitter smile. Not dramatic, Emma. Just getting started. Then I asked it, the question I already knew the answer to. I just needed to hear her say it. Needed to hear the lie. How long have you been planning to leave me? The silence was suffocating. No breath, no movement, just the faint crackle of the line between us. Heavy with everything she wouldn't say. Then, what? Her voice pitched higher, almost careless, like she was brushing off a joke. I swallowed hard. I asked how long, I repeated steady. You know, Plan B? You went through my stuff? Emma's laugh was sharp, brittle, a sound that wasn't joy, just a hollow imitation of it. I didn't flinch. You left it in our shared folder. You didn't even try to hide it. The apartment listings, the lawyer consult, the budget spreadsheet. Was I just supposed to keep smiling while you planned your way out? Her voice turned cold like a door slamming shut. You don't get it. Things haven't been right for a long time. But you never see it. You're always in your own world. That hit like a dull blade, twisting. Not pain yet, just the old bitter taste of being blamed for her distance. I work from home, I said, the words tight in my throat. I drive the kids. I cook. I clean. I gave you space, time, support. If I missed something, you could have just told me. But instead, you planned a brunch to celebrate me not being there. You're twisting it, she snapped, her voice sharp with defensiveness. It was supposed to be lighthearted. My chest tightened. It was supposed to be a test run, I shot back. And you know it. The silence on her end said more than words ever could. Do they know? I pressed, my voice low. Sophia and Austin about the apartment? The lawyer? No, she answered too quickly. Of course not. Why would I tell them something that might not even happen? I let out a bitter laugh. Because it is happening, Emma. The words hung heavy between us. I was pushing her, I knew. But I needed to see, would she fold? Would she lie? She didn't. Instead, she dug in. I'm not doing this with you over the phone, she said, her tone clipped. If you want to talk, come home. Why? The word came out raw, aching. You want me to just walk into a house that's already been gutted of everything? Even the feeling? My voice cracked. Dramatic, David. Always so dramatic. That word again, like a knife twisting. I'm not being dramatic, I said, quieter now, harder. I'm being honest. You could have told me the truth. Instead, you used the kids. Turn them into props in your little act. Her breath hitched. Don't bring them into this. I already saw them. The words came out sharp. They're not blind, Emma. They know. You've been playing chess this whole time, and I just figured out I wasn't your opponent. I was a pawn. Silence. Thick, deliberate. Not shock, strategy. Finally, she exhaled. Okay, so what now? Now? I let the question hang. For once, I wanted her to wait, to wonder, to feel the weight of not knowing. But I needed more time. Time to prepare, to make sure every piece fell into place. This wasn't just revenge. It was a revelation, a slow, deliberate unraveling of the lies she'd wrapped around us all. I'll be in touch, when I said, cutting the call short. The silence that followed was heavy, thick with everything left unsaid. My heart hammered against my ribs, but for the first time in weeks, my thoughts were sharp, focused. I didn't want to destroy her. I wanted to strip away the carefully crafted illusions she'd sold. To me, to the kids, to everyone, and let the truth stand bare, undeniable. That night I called Ethan, my old college friend turned lawyer. We drifted apart over the years, but last year his firm had handled some compliance contracts for me, and we'd reconnected. I didn't lay everything out, not yet, just enough to plant the seed. Emma's planning something, I told him. My hands shook as I held the documents. Proof, finally. I need to protect myself and the kids, I told him, my voice raw. He didn't ask why I'd waited so long. No judgment, just action. Let's meet Saturdays, he said. I'll prep the paperwork. Bring everything you have. 3 days. Just 3 days to finish what I'd started. The next morning, I went straight to the safe deposit box. Emma had probably forgotten it even existed. Inside, buried under old insurance policies and backup drives, was the original house deed. I copied everything, my heart pounding. Then the bank. I froze the joint savings account, not emptied, just frozen. I wasn't trying to destroy her. But I needed her to know. The man she left behind on Father's Day wasn't the same one standing here now. She'd underestimated me for the last time. The letter was waiting for me when I got back to the hotel. Slipped under the door like a whisper. David, please. We need to talk. The kids are scared. I don't know what you're doing, but we're still a family. Let's just come home. I'll explain everything. It wasn't in her handwriting. Printed. Cold. That alone cut deeper than the words. She still thought this was something she could fix, that a few careful sentences, a rehearsed plea, could undo everything. As if love were just a negotiation, as if I hadn't already bled out trying to make it work. So I answered, not her, the kids, because they deserve to know the truth, that I love them, that I wasn't leaving them, that sometimes fighting for them meant walking away from the war she'd made of our home. I told them as gently as I could that even the people we trust, the ones who should never lie, sometimes do. And when that happens, we don't stay quiet. We don't shrink. We speak. We stand. We fight for what's right. I made sure they knew I'd never make them choose, that loving their mom was okay, that it was good. But I also told them, voice steady, that I wouldn't disappear. Not again. Not for another second. Then I sent the letter. Not an email. Not a text. Paper. Incorrectnumber one on the mum. Something solid. Something they could hold on to. Proof. No more pretending. That night, I sifted through the last fragments. Voicemails, screenshots, notes. Tiny, aching reminders of how long I'd been standing in a house where the door was already shutting, slow and silent, behind me. Saturday morning came, and I walked into Ethan's office with everything I needed. Flash drive, binders, a list of questions sharp as knives. Legal custody, financial separation, emergency plans. I wasn't doing this to hurt her. I was doing it for my kids so they'd never doubt who stood in the fire for them. Then my phone buzzed. Emma's Instagram. A photo of her and the kids, all smiles, some old memories she'd dug up. The caption cut deep. Some people break your heart and still expect you to love them. Just like that, she was shaping the story before the truth had its say. But she was wrong about one thing. I wasn't just reacting anymore. I was building something solid, undeniable. And when it was done, no one would mistake who she really was. I waited a full week, not out of hesitation, but because revenge isn't about blind anger. It's about control, clarity. I wanted Emma to sit with what she'd done, to let her believe, just for a little while, that she had the upper hand. That's what made it all the sweeter when the truth finally hit. I didn't take it to social media. That was her game, not mine. Instead, I wrote a letter. Simple, direct. No theatrics, just cold, undeniable facts. I sent it to the neighborhood forum, the school parent board, and yes, every single family member on both sides. I told them exactly what happened on Father's Day, how I woke up alone, how they all sat together, laughing over pancakes and mimosas, while I sat in silence, wondering what I'd done to deserve this. No embellishments, just the truth, raw and unflinching. I brought up the Instagram story, the caption, the silence. And when I asked for honesty, what did I get? A digital trail of betrayal. Proof of a plan to replace me, to move on without even facing me like an adult, like someone who once promised to love me. No name-calling, no curses, just the truth laid bare. I wasn't disappearing. I wasn't shrinking. And I sure as hell wasn't the villain. Then came the legal side. Ethan helped me draft the papers. Separation, custody, a financial breakdown that accounted for everything. Not just the income, but the years of unpaid labor, the coaching, the late-night science projects, the hospital visits. All the times I held things together while Emma was off smiling for strangers, showing listings. We served her during one of her open houses. Because I wasn't going quietly. Not this time. The courier stepped into the sunlit living room, called her name, and placed the envelope in her hands. Right there in front of that young couple dreaming of their first home. The irony was almost beautiful. Then everything collapsed. She scrambled, reaching out to friends, spinning stories, painting me as vindictive, unstable, manipulative. But it didn't matter. The proof was everywhere, undeniable. Her plan B wasn't just some hidden shame. It was a cold, deliberate roadmap for emotional abandonment. People felt it. Friends we'd known for years stopped answering her messages. Even Mira, her sister, who had smirked through that awful brunch, slipped away, left the state, and stayed gone for 2 weeks. I think she finally understood. She'd been standing too close when it all blew apart. Sophia and Austin spent nearly that entire first month with me. Not because I begged, because they wanted to. And that shattered Emma's story once and for all. How could she pretend to be the steady one when the kids kept stuffing their backpacks and pleading, "Can we just go home to Dad?" As for me, I rebuilt. Slowly, messily. But I stopped haunting my own life. I signed a lease on a smaller house nearby, cozy ours. Sophia covered her walls in whatever she wanted. Austin got a loft bed with glow-in-the-dark stars scattered across the ceiling. Saturday mornings smelled like waffles. I filled journals. Returned to the gym. Found my laugh again. Not a ghost anymore. Just a man learning how to breathe. I sat the kids down and told them the truth. Softly, but without sugarcoating it. Love isn't about letting someone trample over you. Respect has to go both ways. And being a parent, a real one, means showing up, even when it rips you apart inside. 7 months later, Emma and I signed the divorce papers. She didn't put up much of a fight by then. Maybe she finally saw what I'd known for years. The cracks in the picture were too deep. No filter could fix them. The last time we stood face to face, she tried one last time. "You really made this ugly, David." I held her gaze, my voice steady. "No," I said. "You did. I just stopped cleaning up after you." She didn't say another word, just clenched her jaw, lips pressed into a thin line as I turned and walked away. This time, with my kids beside me. The moment I shut that door, it hit me, like a truth I should have seen years ago. Being the bigger person doesn't mean holding up someone else's weight forever. It means realizing when they were never walking beside you at all. That was the day I finally came home, not just to a place, but to myself.